and welcome to the What to Read Next podcast. In this podcast, your host, Gloria Me, will invite a bookish guest to share their favorite book recommendation. If you share a passion for books and always looking for your next read, then join us.
Hi, Brittany. Welcome to What to Read Next podcast.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
So happy to have you here. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am 34 years old. I am from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm a CPA by day, and I read romance novels on the side for fun at night.
I love this. I can't wait to talk romance with you. What is your favorite romance trope?
So my favorite trope is forbidden. I love a little bit of spice in my life, and so for me, that's what I've been leaning towards lately.
Do you have any recommendations for forbidden?
Yes. One of my top favorite is Asher by Mia Sheridan. Mm-hmm. I also love Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas and Something in the Way series by Jessica Hawkins. Those are my intro into the forbidden world that I like to recommend.
So I think I read those first three books of Jessica Hawkins. I know there's a fourth book for Something in the Way. I think they get when they're together, and I have not read it. I have to say, I was like, it's really gonna be hunky dory. It's not gonna be angsty as the first three books, or you're like, will day, one day, what's gonna happen? The sister.
It makes it just a little bit more interesting to me. So
yeah.
No.
All right, so let's talk about indie authors. Which indie authors are you out by, and which ones you should check out their backlist?
For sure, Marnie Mann. She's one of my top favorite indie authors, and I love all of her backlist. I sped through them within a matter of 2 weeks. I'm also on a big Julie Ann kick right now, so I definitely recommend her. And then Penelope Douglas, just because she's one of my top favorites.
I love it.
Many more, but those are who I'm into right now.
I love this. Yeah, Julie Ann. I have her newest book on my TBR for this week, so I'm excited.
Oh, it was so good. So that's one of my top reads for this year. I read Jack and Jill before that, and then just followed through all of them, with one and then Out of Love, and I could not put it down. It was so good.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. So speaking of 5-star reads, what are some of your 5-star reads?
So still on the whole forbidden kick, I'm also really into motorcycle clubs. Yeah. So 9 Minutes by Beth Flynn is one of my top 5-star reads that I always recommend. I'm really enjoyed Method by Kate Stewart as well. So also not forbidden, but just a little bit different in its own weird way, but still one of my favorites. And then The One for Me by Corinne Michaels is probably one of my other top ones for the year.
I love Corinne Michaels. She's so great.
I know.
So let's talk about different subgenres. So you're a fan of which subgenre? Rom-com, contemporary, small town, angsty, and then tell us what has been a book that you read this past year that you love.
I'm also still kind of on the forbidden kick, but along the same lines, I would say dark romance is probably my top subgenre, and I would say the top series that I read, and that would probably be Flocked by Kate Stewart as well, the Flock series. I don't know if you've read that yet, but it's dark and it's good. And then probably Scandalous Prince, which it's mafia. So I would say mafia and dark romance all along the same lines. I just kind of stick in that world. Anything that's not that, I kind of get it's a good read, but it doesn't excite me like the dark does. Yeah. I'm such a good girl in real life that to me, that's my escape, and my, the sweet doesn't do it for me anymore.
I love this. I used to read a lot of dark romance, and so I think I stopped reading, I would say a few years, because I started reading more traditionally published. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm back into the indie publishing, and I'm looking for ways to add it in, and I'm
yeah.
I need the angsty, the anxier, the better, the darker.
The darker, the better.
Yeah, and I think I find that more in indie authors than.
Yeah, I think they can push the buttons a little bit further than traditionally published. And so that's why, to me, definitely puts you out of your comfort zone, but at least it's something that I think gets people talking. And, sometimes there's a shock value, and there's definitely trigger warnings for a reason, but I think as long as you're okay with it, then, I say go for it.
That's awesome. What has been a book that you have read this past year you cannot stop gushing about?
I would say The Initiation by Nikki Sloan. That to me was probably like, oh my gosh, it was so hot and so good. So that whole back series too. So go read her back series too.
Yeah,
But
Nikki Sloan is another level of hotness. Like she's like another. It's a next level of steam.
Yes, that to me was just like, whoa, okay, kicking off 2019 or 2020, whatever year we're in.
Yeah.
That, and then probably the Born Madly duet, Born Darkly by Trisha Wolfe. That was probably, it's a little bit older, but I read it this year, and so that to me was like, woo.
That's awesome. And what are you currently reading?
So anybody who's like really dark, okay, you gotta go.
That's awesome. So what are you currently reading right now?
Sweet Dandelion by Michaela Smeltzer. I downloaded that. I just finished The Bride by Willa Nash the night before, so I'll probably start Sweet Dandelion tonight. My blog partner actually recommended it, and it was on sale yesterday, so I just picked it up.
I love when that happens. You're just like, I found them my Kindle full of like sell items, and I'm like, and then I forget about them, and I go back and I'm like, oh, I already bought it. Like,
oh yeah,
I bought it like, years ago.
I actually did that with the Jack and Jill series. I was going to start it, and so I went to go buy it, and I was like, oh, I already own that. So I was like, well.
Yes, my old self thought of my future self and was like, you're gonna buy the book. So awesome. So tell us where we can find you online.
I'm on Instagram at Brittany's Reads, and that's where I mainly talk romance there. I do have a blog with 2 other blog partners. We are The Book Boutique by Brittany, Sarah, and Elizabeth. So you can find us online there. We have a Facebook at The Book Boutique on Facebook. We also have a reader group where we talk about books every single day. We give you sales and promos and stuff like that. So just anything book related, we're down to talk about.
I love this. Thank you, Brittany, for being on the show.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to be here.
If you enjoyed this podcast, feel free to share with friends, subscribe, rate, and review the show. This is the easiest way to support this podcast. Once you connect with fellow romance readers and make new friends, get weekly book recommendations, attend monthly meetups, then join our Patreon community. You can join at whattoreadnextblog.com/Patreon. Romance lovers, check out Queen Bee Reads Etsy shop for cute and comfortable bookish apparel. The shop also features social justice apparel and fun items from some of your favorite TV shows like The Schitt's Creek and The Office. Use code WhatToRead10 to save. Visit whattoreadnextblog.com/QueenBeeReads. What to Read Next podcast is part of the Frolic Podcast Network. Discover new podcasts to love on frolic.media/podcast. Thank you so much for listening and have a great day.